Hello everybody, Mobius1 here, bringing you episode 1 of a brand new series on my channel. This is Ace Combat 4, which I've wanted to do series 4 since I started gaming on YouTube, honestly. This game means absolutely so much to me. Those of you who have played it already probably already know this is where my name, Mobius1, comes from, so you'll hear that in game. But I do want to say that I am playing this on the PCSX2 emulator, which is a great emulator, but unfortunately just has a couple problems with this game in particular. As you can see, the jet there is completely solid black. There are also some vertical lines in the cutscenes, so I'm doing my best to get this to look as good as it can. Upscaling the resolution a little bit, but just because of the quality of the emulator, or I guess the technical difficulties of the emulator, there are going to be some graphical glitches. So real quick, let me just make sure that, let me check the volume on stuff. I want to lower the volume, the music volume a little bit, because it is a little bit loud, and I don't know how YouTube's going to react to copyright stuff with this. I have to say, the music in the Ace Combat series is phenomenal. I absolutely love this music, so I'm hoping YouTube doesn't give me a lot of problems with it, because I would hate to have to mute some of it, but I gotta do what I gotta do. So, before we start the game, I'm gonna go over real quick what it is. Ace Combat is a jet fighting game series. I can't say it's a jet fighting simulator, because it's very much arcadey. So, that means jets have way more missiles than a jet could realistically carry. You don't have to worry about things like fuel. You don't have to worry about pulling G's. So it's not, it's not like DCS or whatever, Microsoft Flight Simulator or anything like that. It's not even quite as accurate as like Arma or Battlefield. But they are all real. Well, I can't say all either. Most of the aircraft in the game are real aircraft, and yeah, behave somewhat realistically. So it's a very good balance of realism and fun. So let's jump right in. We're going to do a new game, and of course we're going to do it on hard difficulty, which I believe there is an ace difficulty that you unlock after beating the game on hard, but we'll just go through on hard anyway.
I was just a child when the stars fell from the skies, but I remember how they built a cannon to destroy them, and in turn how that cannon brought war upon us. War was an abstract idea, nothing more than a show on TV. As a child,
it's been so long since I played this.
In some faraway land, until that final day of summer. One day while on my way to school, I looked up in the skies. A sound like distant thunder. In the blue skies far above me, contrails drew dizzying circles around in a crazy waltz. A battle in the beautiful skies far away. I could not tear my gaze away from them. A deafening roar. As if to graze the hills and streak past me. The fighters played the cat or the mouse in turn as they climbed swiftly into the sky. One fleeing plane fell out of the skies, spiraling and spewing orange flames to crash by the Cape. The same Cape where my family lived.
RIP.
Now they only live in my memories of days past. The victor circled around to confirm the kill. And on his craft, there was a large number 13 emblazoned in yellow. I will never forget this. The Allies retreated across the ocean before the onslaught of the enemy. Our little town in the heart of the mainland fell into deep isolation.
The music is still too loud. Alright. So, here we go. Episode 1, Sitting Duck. Mission 1, rather.
4 years after the planetfall of the Ulysses 1994 XFO4 asteroids, Stonehenge, the Erusian weapon of mass destruction, was originally built to shoot down asteroids. Upon discovering its potential as an anti-aircraft weapon, the Erusians ruled the skies over the mainland. The ISAF's attempts to destroy Stonehenge through airstrikes failed. As a result, strategic positions on the mainland were lost. This in turn forced ISAF to evacuate from the east coast to North Point. ISAF GHQ is regrouping its remaining combat forces at North Point. However, the Erusians control most parts of the mainland, and they have forward deployed bombers to Wrigley Air Base, a former ISAF facility. This bomber force will attempt to deal a lethal blow to the ISAF at North Point from this strategic position.
Alright, I remember this. The Usia continent, North Point.
Here is the current SITREP and your orders for deployment, effective immediately. Enemy agents destroyed our early warning radar network, allowing several air bombers to penetrate our airspace. In 15 minutes, we expect this bomber formation to strike Allen Ford Air Base and then move on to targets at North Point. Our air defense forces are extremely weak at this point in time. Hence, our GHQ is a sitting duck. It is mission critical that you destroy the bombers and neutralize the threat before they get past Newfield Island. Remember, you are the first line of defense for North Point, and the fate of ISAF lies in your hands.
Okay. So every mission starts with a nice little briefing like that. It shows you an overview of the world map, or I guess just the continent map, which most Ace Combat games take place in a fictional world. So I think they call it Strange Real. So here we are. Get a nice little 3D view of the mission. There's going to be 6 bombers that we have to take out. They have a couple fighter escorts as well. And we get a menu. We can go to a hangar and buy either aircraft or weapons. We can rewatch the briefing. So there's nothing for us to buy just yet. I don't think we have any money or anything yet, but you do get money for how many targets you take out during the mission. So it encourages you to kind of go above and beyond the objectives, which we're going to do here in this first episode. So we'll just start mission, and here's another visual glitch. So the hangar in this is very, very buggy when I'm running this emulator in hardware mode. Now I can just quickly switch it to software mode, and you can see it looks a lot better, but now it's kind of there's a little bit of jitter, up and vertical jitter. But it also makes all the text blurry because you can't upscale it in software mode. So we'll do a little bit of back and forth, I guess, between software and hardware mode, just so you guys can see what the planes look like. But we're going to be playing in hardware mode just because everything is much more sharp, and yeah, it's just better. So the only aircraft we could select right now is the F-4E Phantom. We're going to take that, and the only secondary we get is a bomb, unguided bomb, which we're not even going to be using this mission, but we have to take it anyway. So here we go. Sitting Duck. Mission objectives: destroy all indicated targets. You can see the textures missing on the player aircraft. We'll just imagine that we have a really sick stealth black paint job through the rest of the series, because this is what our aircraft is pretty much going to look like for the entire game. Now, there are 3 views. I will let AWACS go through his spiel. Oh! That is my call sign.
You are now under my command. 6 bombers on vector 360 confirmed. Continue north to intercept. Today's my birthday. A victory sure would be nice. Damn it, I ain't going home in a body bag.
Alright, so we have 3 different views that we can toggle between. This is called the simulated cockpit view. This is your cockpit view, and then we also have third-person view. Now, since our aircraft is this ridiculous black color, we're not going to be using the third-person view very much. And this particular aircraft, the cockpit view is very obstructive to your view. So I think for now we're just going to go with the simulated cockpit view, but later on we might use the actual cockpit view. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. If this view, you don't like it so much. I actually really like this view. It gives you the best view of what you're looking at. Alright, so here we're coming up on the first target. The mission objective targets will be marked with the red TGT on the left. You can also see on the mini-map in the bottom left, the red targets are, again, your objective targets. Those orange targets up ahead, those are the escort fighters. So I don't have to destroy those in order to complete the mission. But I will get more points for destroying those, which will be turned into money later, so I can buy different aircraft and better weapons and stuff.
Mobius 1, currently over city airspace. Where are the escort fighters? 3 targets remaining. 5 miles out from first target. I see hideout. Open bombing doors. 2 targets remaining.
Alright, so we only have 2 objective targets left, but let's get some more points here.
Heads up, enemy radar spike.
Those are gonna miss.
Nothing but air, heads up.
Oop.
He's beyond my league. Strange seeing fighters out this far. Here they come. Nothing but air, heads up. Target on the nose. Engage. Defend it down. Locked on.
So most enemies in this game take 2 missiles to destroy. There are a couple exceptions to that. A lot of ground targets will only take 1. Helicopters usually only take 1. But most fighter jets take 2.
Don't change course.
Alright, so it looks like all the escorts are down. We just have the 2 bombers left.
You're in gun range. 1 target remaining. All right, Mobius 1.
And that's it.
Mobius 1.
Sky Eye, this is Alan Fort. Got visual on the downed bombers. Whose kill was that? Make sure to thank him.
That's a roundup. Let's go on home.
Alright. And then at the end you get a nice little replay of everything that happened. You can watch it from different camera angles. You can like rewatch the entire mission. It's pretty neat. But we'll usually just skip
Thanks
that.
to your efforts, the enemy bomber strike was averted. However, our victory will be meaningless should you fail the next mission.
Alright. The debrief shows, again, like a little simulated replay of everything that happened. It also gives you your final score. So it's kind of cool to watch this sometimes. It shows you everything that you've killed, tallies up your points, then gives you a rank at the end. You can see on the left there, rank S is the highest rank. So we got a bonus of $60,000 for that. So our total credits now on the bottom right is 84,000, which is pretty good.
The war seemed to unfold in the blink of an eye. I don't remember exactly when the forces from the west occupied my town. I was too busy scanning the skies day after day, waiting for Yellow 13 to reappear. Before I knew it, everything changed. The language they taught us at school. Our friendly local sheriff disappeared and was replaced by foreign MPs. In the beginning, some people secretly tuned into broadcasts from North Point on their parabolic antennas. But as time passed, the broadcast no longer came in. Maybe the satellites were destroyed. All non-military computer networks were shut down. Gasoline was rationed to civilians. Though we lived in the 21st century, we were reduced to using crystal radios and horse-drawn carts. I moved in with my uncle in town, who used to be a taxi driver. Out of gasoline and out of work, my uncle did nothing but to drown himself in drink. I earned my keep by playing the harmonica in the town bar, the one thing I was good at. I'd play for sullen occupation soldiers in exchange for their charity and loose change, and used the money to support my uncle and myself. My uncle trash-talked the barkeep who catered to the enemy soldiers, but he never refused the money I brought home. As for myself, I had a crush on the barkeep's only daughter, who was a little older than me.
I don't remember any of this.
The day passed, yet still no sign of the fighter plane Yellow 13 in the skies above our town.
It's really interesting that the narrator of the game, of the story, obviously is just a little kid. And that actually kind of holds true for most of the Ace Combat games, at least the older ones, where the person telling the story is not the person you play as. Most of the time, in most cases, your character, the player character, is kind of like a mute protagonist. So they're not really going to say anything. They're just kind of implied to say different things, and then the overall story is told from somebody else's perspective. And we'll see that again in later Ace Combat games, but I want to get through this one first, especially with Ace Combat 7 coming out. Ace Combat 7 is also going to be set in the Strange Reel universe, and they've already made references to Mobius 1 in that game, so it's... I figured if I'm going to be doing a series for that, I definitely need to get this one posted first. That way, anybody who's watched this will understand any of the references they make in Ace Combat 7. But for now, we're going to save our game. That's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this little intro. I promise I won't talk so much about the mechanics of the game and the episodes going forward. But we needed a good short intro to the game. And yeah, this should have been that for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Mobius 1 here. It's going to be really funny saying that after each episode of this game in particular. But yeah, Mobius 1 here. I'll see you in the next one.